Hello, this is Misha from Live It Up Events, and today I thought I'd share a thought with you while I'm in my cozy, self-soothing jumper. It's cold today. Um, I'm sure you've noticed when you've gone out to the shops or basically anywhere that has a coffee shop or a coffee cart in line, that people are standing in line. And not only are they then standing in line waiting for their coffee, but they're also waiting even after they've ordered, and waiting quite patiently, usually very well behaved. The other day I was in a shop, a cafe, where a whole group of business people had come together, obviously for their more of a social time and catch-up time just before work. And it struck me that as everyone's waiting for their coffee, there was sort of an edge. And of course, when I say coffee, that could be tea or a chai or a smoothie or who knows, any other beverage that's being served. But what was interesting was the level of, not tension necessarily, but this agitation. Of course, there's waiting, this natural sense of even anticipation for the drinks to arrive. And the chatter was short and staccato sounding and crisp. And as the coffees all arrived, because people had ordered it around the same time, so once everyone got settled into their drink, there was like this breathe of relief and settling at the table. Then the sounds that were coming from the table, besides the sounds of drinking, were also sounds of sort of more longer sounds of chat, longer and calmer, not necessarily lower voices, but the table felt and looked calmer. And I used the word soothing before when I was talking about my fuzzy little jacket here. But it was almost as though everyone at the table had been soothed. Now, you could say it's because, well, yes, they were waiting for their order, and once you get an order, you can't help but be happy about that and feel relieved, and you're not waiting anymore. And you'd be right. But I think there was another element that actually applies not just to that table of people, but to all of us in some way, in that we are often brisk, or often sort of almost alert when we're waiting. And in a way, we can be a different person to, a few minutes later, or an event, or after a drink, or during a drink, in that moment feeling better and more open and more engaged and more ready to chat and perhaps be warm and affectionate with the person next to you rather than distracted and short and abrupt. The reason watching that table made me chuckle wasn't actually because of the people there and their behavior, because actually it was very normal and I probably do the same thing. But it was actually how similar it was to my 19-month daughter, old daughter, who once or twice in a day she might have a bottle of warm milk still. And when she asks for milk, and the sign for milk is this, and if she's going to have it, I'll say yes, and she'll wait or be in her cot. And she might even be lying down waiting, or just standing and, by the rail and waiting. And when I come closer with the bottle of milk, there'll be this sort of her eyes, her shortness of breath, and she might laugh, and then she might lie down so that she's in the position ready, and then there's like this gurgle of, oh, here it is. And then as she starts drinking, there's a calmness that happens, and she may not be going to sleep, she might just be having her drink. And she enjoys it. And she enjoys it differently or more than water. She'll drink water all through the day and many times. But when she asks for milk, it's specifically for that drink and that food. And when I watched this table and everyone's sort of sitting there waiting for their coffees and chais and teas, there was that similar kind of looking around waiting. And then as their coffees were served, it was similar to that feeling of, oh, there it is. Ah, there's my tea. There's my hot drink. And I was thinking about it in terms of that even though we move beyond our baby bottle time, do we really ever move beyond that time? How often do we move just from the baby bottle to something else, which might be cheese toast, or which might be hot chips by the time you're a teenager? It might be a cup of tea or a cup of coffee. It could be a hot drink, or it could be a cold drink, but probably more likely it's that thing, what is it over our ages, over our time, that we move from one almost milk bottle to another? And probably the curiosity would be, what's your milk bottle today? And how far have you moved away from that feeling of, oh, I need that now, and the feeling of release when you have it? So why is this even interesting? Well, on one hand, it could be that it's simply amusing and funny that we don't really move beyond our little selves. We just find things and make a different shape for it, especially when it comes to nurturing ourselves. Secondly, it could be interesting because you may be someone who has noticed that, or even have a level of agitation prior to even might be ordering a coffee, or it might be ordering anything else. And as you wait for a meal, you're kind of tense, and once it's there, it's like, everything's right and fine. And it might be to do with hunger, but probably the question there is it really? Or is it that sense of, I've gotten something that I've chosen, that I want, that nurtures me? And third reason this is interesting is potentially because if something in your life is like your baby bottle, is the thing that gives you this little sense of nurturing, then it may be sometime interesting to look at does the feeling of agitation that comes in there, does it have to be settled with a drink or a blanket? If it wasn't settled with that, what could you find that would be equally nurturing and equally okay? Just questions, just thoughts. And of course, comments are welcome if you actually have a thought or something that comes to mind in your discoveries. It's a constant discovery for me. And I'll speak to you next time. Bye.